Hey there, listener. It's Mike, your dungeon master speaking. I just wanted to cut in at the head of this episode and let you know that this episode is going to be a little bit different. This is the first episode of our Patreon bonus content titled The Side Quest. It takes place in the same world as the Retribution arc, but it's a whole new cast of characters and a new player is joining us. This campaign, plus early release unabridged episodes with no ad breaks, are available now on our Patreon for a mere $5 a month. We will be back next week with our regularly scheduled program. Thanks and enjoy.
Theater of the Mind podcasts are not suitable for all ages. Content warnings can be found in the audio description. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Theater of the Mind presents The Side Quest. This is our first foray into the world of bonus content, so thank you for joining us. With me tonight is...
My name is Clay Carnahan, the brother of said DM, the better brother.
I am a familiar voice you might have heard from other episodes. I am Bernal, and do with that what you will.
Hello, I'm Downs. That's it.
Down sounds sad. All right.
Downs is down. I'm Kasey. I don't have anything quippy to say after that, so.
So the side quest is going to be primarily set in D&D 5e, just like our primary story, and it will take place in the same world. But for this first episode, Kasey found a fun game to help us introduce these new characters. We will be playing Mission Accomplished, written by Jeff Stormer. We will be reflavoring it a bit, but the core mechanics are pretty much the same. So, players, the world as you know it has recently changed. About a week ago, for seemingly no real reason, all power is out. Suffice it to say, LA, where you currently are, is a bad place to be. With the collapse of the infrastructure, life in the greater Los Angeles area has completely devolved to anarchy. Large areas of the city are on fire, looting and general crime are rampant, and there's really no sign that things are going to get better. This all works out quite well for you, as you are members of a Guns for Hire group and have just returned from a successful mission. You were working for a man named Billy the Frog Beaujeu. The mission was to transport a young lady out of the heart of Los Angeles to a safe house in Calabasas, which, according to Google, is a nice neighborhood that is competing with Beverly Hills for niceness.
Thank you. I did not know that.
Me either. I Googled nice places near LA. Calabasas was near the top of the list.
That works.
Do we have a name for this young lady?
Janet.
Janet. Okay.
Definitely not made up on the spot.
I just figured we might reference her at some point.
That is a valid concern. You're now sitting in the back room of Billy's sandwich joint, named Bill's Best Bistro, debriefing after your successful mission. In the back corner of the room sits a very well-dressed man. So Billy starts. So y'all made it back in one piece, I see.
Yeah,
The girl made it to the safe house okay?
she did.
Of course, fool.
She arrived there. That is what happened.
More or less.
So I'm gonna just address the elephant in the room here. There is a gentleman listening in on this conversation. He's a potentially interested party. As you all know, your former team captain, Terry, is no longer with us. We are going to have ourselves a nice little debrief and see who on this team is ready to step up and take lead of the group. I am a little concerned. It took you guys a couple days longer to accomplish this mission than what I had originally anticipated. So I am assuming there's some problems that occurred out in the field. I am expecting that you all will clarify what has occurred for me so I can make a proper evaluation as to the success of this mission. This gentleman will be listening into everything you have to say. He is a trusted party. You can be open and frank in front of him. For his benefit, let's go ahead and go around the table here and tell us who you are, what you do for the team currently, what your primary contribution to this last episode.
We'll edit that out.
What your primary contribution to this last mission was, and go ahead and tell us one fun fact about yourselves so we get to know you a bit better. All right, let's go ahead and start with you there on my left.
My name is Mark, the Steeled one. Steele. And it's not steel as in like I take things, it's like the metal.
A regular Stalin over there, okay?
My fun fact is puns and or dad jokes are the best form of comedy. My specialty is I'm the tank. I go in, I kill the things, and then everyone else heals me. And then my team contribution was killing the things and doing the stuff for the mission.
Alrighty.
That's crazy, fool. All right. My name's Dante Ramirez, and my specialty there is guerrilla tactics, and thief skills. I can like pick the locks and stuff and hotwire the cars, you know. And I like to think that my skill is efficiency, fool. And what I did is I stealthily took out as many threats as possible. You know, I was hiding in the bushes. I took a lot of people out so Janet could get to her place safely, you know. And then the fun fact is I have connections in Mexico City, fool.
Alrighty. Your turn there, Mr. Gravel Voice.
Thanks for that. I'm Jordan Stone. I'm the fastest in the group, so obviously I'm the scout. I also know a fair bit of martial arts, so I run interference where I can. When it's necessary for one of these boneheads gets into trouble, I'm the one to get them out.
Your name sounds almost exactly like my character's name.
Oh, shit.
But I picked mine when we last...
Well, I came up with mine about 5 minutes ago.
What's the two names?
Jori, Sloan.
Fuck me.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and rule that you need a new name, man.
God damn it.
That is
You said
fantastic.
that, I'm like, oh shit.
That is wild.
That is hilarious. Thank you, random name generator.
I will just re-record your whole bit there.
Oh, that's so good.
Fuck.
My name is Fuck!
He's like, it took me a whole 5 minutes to come up with this.
How about Jake Ryan? Does that sound like anyone else's name?
No.
I like
Okay,
that.
good. We're going with that.
Oh,
Almost Jack Ryan. The
That works
books
great
and
for a
TV
Black
shows.
Ops.
Still not
Yeah.
copywritten.
Yeah.
We're perfect.
yeah. All right.
Probably.
Your turn there, Mr. Gravelly Voice.
Thanks for that. My name's Jake Ryan. I'm the fastest in the group, so obviously I'm the scout, and I know a fair bit of martial arts, so run interference if need be and help get these boneheads out of trouble when they inevitably get into trouble. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know any fun facts about myself.
Fun fact.
Gotta give me something there.
Did you play sports as a kid?
I like to listen to classical music.
That's
There you
that's
go.
pretty nice.
that's a good one, fool. That's
Who's
good.
your composure du jour?
I don't know their names. I just listen to the music.
Huh.
That is
Band kid can't pull something on the fly. All right.
Bach, Beethoven.
Rachmaninoff, Tchaikovsky.
Debussy.
literally anything you ever studied ever. Yeah.
I don't know. I just listen to the music.
I like John Philip Sousa.
That's not classical.
That's close enough for me.
I'm Jori Sloan. I'm usually the face of the group. I interface between us and any civilians. I kept Janet from panicking as we were making our way through the rougher parts of LA and kept her from running off and ditching the group. My fun fact is when I was in college, I won the fencing championship.
Fencing. Fancy. All right. At this point there, I need y'all to give me your written mission statements. Tell me what went well, what went not so well, so that I can compile my progress report, so to speak. So as a reminder to the folks at home, this is where the players look to their left, look to their right. They pick one of those people to write something good about. The person they do not write something good about, meaning something they did that aided the mission, led to the mission's success. The person they choose to not write about, they will write something negative, something they did that hindered, something they screwed up. These are to be kept private and confidential. And for those of you at home, we're going to time travel. All right, team, I've taken a moment and I've read through this report you guys gave me here for how the mission went. Gotta say, there's definitely some concerns I'm seeing in here. I can understand maybe perhaps why it took you guys a couple extra days to accomplish this task. But why don't we start at the beginning here? Right, you had to escort Janet from the heart of LA, right, out to Calabasas. So why don't we go ahead and start at the beginning here? How was the pickup?
I feel like the pickup went relatively smoothly. You know, we got to the location, found Janet, confirmed her identity, and were able to get a move on.
Perfect. You did confirm her identity.
Yes.
Janet was alive when we got there, yes.
And she was who she said she was.
Yeah, she looked like a Janet, fool.
And Jori, I want to confirm here. You specifically made a point of seeing what she looked like. You understood who this Janet was.
We were given a description in our briefing, and she matched our description.
So the first thing of concern I've got is I'm under the understanding that you, the face of this operation, the person who should have been speaking to Janet the most, in theory, lost track of her more than 10 times. How does a group of... How do you, a professional, essentially bodyguard on this mission, lose your target more than 10 times? What I would love... I need that explained to me. I'm curious.
Respectfully, sir, I was also trying to make sure that we stayed on target, and sometimes that included looking away for brief moments. And Janet, as I mentioned earlier, was very panicky and prone to trying to flee and hide at the earliest convenience. We did find her every single time out of those 10 times and got her to her location safely.
Does anybody else got anything? Did everybody lose it 10 times, or was this specifically Jori issue?
I mean, fool, she likes to run and hide and stuff behind like bushes and things. And I was also hiding in bushes so she wouldn't get like murdered and stuff, you know? And then like, so I would find her sometimes, but like I didn't know she was there until she was really close. And she has this like weird whimpering noise that she makes sometimes, you know? She's like, ah! And then like she would... So she was like behind me, fool, and I would point her out like, "Hey, Janet's over here." But like, sometimes she would run away because she's panicky and scared of stuff.
Dante, the fact that you're picking up all of these specific details about the target, to me, that is obvious commitment to excellence. You're figuring out exactly how the target ticks. You're learning all of her specific attributes. I'm going to give you a commendation for that. Make note of that. That's one of your commendation dice.
Oh, shit. Yeah, this one. We'll do these
I would either start building a pile or just make like a tally.
I'd recommend the tally method.
Okay.
I might be very liberal with these. Jori, unless you got something specific to make this make sense to me, as our primary civilian liaison of the team here, losing the civilian with which you are liaisoning, I think you're going to have to take a citation.
Sorry. Trying to phrase shit that's in your head in this fantasy scenario is so hard. I understand that it is a problem to lose track of civilians, and I take responsibility for that fact as the person who tends to be the liaison. That
now,
said,
see that right there, guys. I want you to pay attention to this. That right there, I give some feedback that's maybe not so pleasant to hear, right? It's not good to hear that you're dropping the ball here and you're losing the target. Immediately, Jori owns it, right? To me, that is great respect for authority. I'm going to have to give you a commendation for that. Along with the citation I gave you earlier. You do have that. You did
valid and fair, sir. In my defense, a lot of combat was seen on this particular mission, and many of the times she was lost was when she was hiding in bushes to avoid the combat and did not immediately come out after.
Can I just say that she kept her from making noise most of the time? I honestly thought that whimpering sound was Mark.
Why would it be me? I was in front killing the things.
You make a weird noise when you get stabbed, fool.
Wouldn't anybody?
I mean, that's... But it was a lot higher pitch than I thought it would be from you. You know what I mean? Because I got stabbed once and I was like, ah. But like, you got stabbed, you're like, ah. And it was just weird, fool. It was different.
This does touch on something that seems worth bringing up. It sounds like, Mark, you did an excellent job taking on multiple threats during an ambush. To me, that is efficiency personified. One man taking on multiple threats, I think that's worthy of a commendation.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Taking on multiple enemies at one time is very difficult.
And I gotta say, Dante, I'm a little worried. I'm looking for a team captain here, and I got somebody making fun of one of his teammates here. To me, that's not very good team spirit. I think I'm gonna have to give you a citation for that.
I mean, I don't know if I was making fun of him, fool, but, I was just stating the facts, Like, he made a higher sound, and I wasn't ready for it when it happened. But I understand. I will accept my citation.
Now, in that same situation, I'm a little concerned here. It sounds like our head scout, Jack Ryan.
Jake Ryan, sir.
Jake
Ryan.
Yeah, Jack Ryan's a dude that Tom Cruise played, I think.
Jack Ryan is a fantasy character.
Incorrectly on that card. I'm going to make an
Not
adjustment.
Tom Cruise.
Oh, no, yeah, it was a different guy. Yeah. Jack Reacher was Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise or
the other
guy from The Office.
Yeah, that guy.
John Krasinski.
John Krasinski.
Took me like 5 minutes to think of his name. But
It concerns me that our... sorry, when you change your name mid-session, it's hard.
My apologies. I had an identity crisis.
You got a bit far ahead there on your scouting, which left the team open to attack. To me, that sounds like an issue of team spirit. What do we got to say about that?
I got a bit overzealous with my scouting. Oh.
I would also assume this is part of why we kept losing this girl, for whom we were responsible for protecting.
it is also why we got ambushed. I had to fight.
Listen, I thought I saw a threat, so I went to go take care of it. My accent's all over the place.
See, right there, that is also a lack of personal development. I'm gonna have to give you dual citations.
Based on the evidence we had, sir, or not the evidence, the information we had going into this mission, there were multiple times in which we thought we knew where we might find enemies, and they were not in the locations we expected them from. The
Sometimes
scouting
they're-
was incredibly valuable to help determine their actual location, even if that sometimes was right behind us.
Will we say that some of this issue was caused by miscommunications within the party? Miscommunications between the party and some liaisons? Where would we think that we had the intel issues?
I think we struggled sometimes because normally, in normal circumstances, we have radios on our persons. As you know, those are not currently functioning, and it is taken an adjustment in our training to correct that gap.
It makes it difficult when the scout has to yell back that, I think there might be an ambush.
And then we get ambushed.
And then you get ambushed.
Right, because like sound doesn't travel as fast when it's going through the air. You know, it does going through the radio waves.
And it doesn't travel as subtly.
He shouted and like I had to answer him.
When
know?
someone's yelling at you from an alley and it echoes off the walls, it kind of makes it easy for everyone to know
to pinpoint all of our locations.
where we're at.
The incomprehensible
like,
hand signs were also something we are working on in order to create more subtle methods. Right now, we have not agreed on what any of the hand signs mean.
I would have to say that this sounds like an overall lack of efficiency.
That is also incorrect. There is one hand signal that we all agree on when things get fucked. That
Yes.
that was a universal one.
Well, that was pre-established before this mission.
Now that sounds like a boost of efficiency. I'm going to have to give Jake a commendation for that. One efficient mode of conversation in a sea of inconsistent communication sounds like a good thing to me.
There you, sir.
Speaking of miscommunications, Dante, I hear that perhaps some of your choice of language may have caused some miscommunications. In fact, the general speaking in general may have been a primary issue regarding you. Well, what have you got to say about that?
I didn't know that was an issue. I tried to stay as quiet as possible. You know, like I'm stealthy. I do the guerrilla tactics. You know, and it's harder to do. I will admit when we don't have the radios and you can tell people where you're at without like shouting at them. You know, but I thought I stayed quieter than the situation called for. But apparently that's not what's being reported. You know, so.
To me, that sounds like a willingness towards personal development. You're willing to accept that maybe you weren't too quiet. I'm gonna give you a commendation for that.
Okay.
It did throw our team off kilter many times, though, when we were missing both Janet and Dante.
Well, that's why I found her in the bushes. Fool. She was over there near me, and like I could hear her, and then I'd let them know that we found her after the threats had been neutralized, though, not like during the battle. Typically, I had a couple missteps, I will admit.
Well, what else happened after the ambush? Let's keep progressing through our stated objective here. Mr. Steele, tell me what happened next.
We continued on to lead the woman out of, or child, because we don't know how old she was, out of LA to safety.
We were still in LA. We were just in different neighborhoods.
She was like 14 to like 36.
Depending on the lighting.
We did manage to dodge further attacks that day and found our way to a safe location to rest for the night, which was sorely needed at that point.
Dodging literal bullets, there was that bastard with the 22.
Yes, from what I hear, Dante, perhaps you were a bit of an asset in finding a place to lay down using your contacts from the cartel.
That's true. That's true, fool. Yeah, Felipe helped us find that safe house so we could, lay down for a little bit. It doesn't matter what he does in that safe house. That's not important to the mission. But, he gave us some special place,
I don't see any chargebacks to any of our accounts. Doesn't look like you had to spend any cash monies on this. So I feel confident in assuming that your contacts aided in our fiscal responsibility. I think that's worthy of a commendation. Free lodging for a group this size, that ain't nothing to balk at.
He owed me one, fool.
Personal favors go a long way in this town.
It does worry me, of course, knowing the organization that I work for, that we're bringing the cartel into the fold.
That's fair.
I'm not sure how that ranks on our team spirit here.
To be fair, sir, it was not about bringing them into the fold. It was merely transactional. A personal favor was repaid to Dante, and it should have no bearing on the further workings of our organization.
Jori, that's fair. I think you get a commendation for team spirit for that, stepping up to make sure Dante don't take flack for something he ain't guilty of. That's greatly appreciated. The two quieter members of this party need to talk more so that they can get commendations and citations as well.
We're trying to win here, guys. Come on. You got to get points.
My apologies. My job isn't about talking. I'm not the face of this organization. I tend to stay in my lane.
Your job's not about talking, and yet I hear that you blew the group's cover because you were singing. Your job ain't about talking. How is your job about singing? Particularly Vivaldi's Four Seasons.
I did get a bit absorbed into my work, I will admit.
I would love an explanation of how a scout, primarily a man who is known for moving through the shadows, decides that singing a rather spirited, uplifting tune in the middle of a essentially battlefield is a good idea. I'd love the understanding of that.
Well, you see, when you lull the enemy into a false sense of security, like if there's an ambush placed, they might make mistakes. Like, oh, look at that idiot! He's just walking down the street singing a really delightful tune, and my accent changed again.
I will have to say that it did keep team spirits up. Him singing a delightful tune such as that.
And there was like a lot of blood spray in the air, so he was handling business when he was singing the song. You know what I mean?
I wasn't like singing decapitation or anything.
No, that's a different guy.
It had the potential to cause a lot of danger to our group, and I feel like it was an unnecessary facet of the work.
But it did have some other fools singing with him. They really got into it, and then they got stabbed in the throat. And it's pretty crazy.
Right here, I am seeing great team spirit from all four of you, actually. Everybody, Jori's got the right track mind here of trying to make sure that the mission gets succeeded. So I'm even going to give you a plus for commitment to excellence.
Does that make two commendations?
That is 2 commendations.
Thank you,
the other
sir.
3, I'll give you a commendation for at least not throwing Jake under the bus. Jake, I do got to give you a citation.
Fair.
Your whole thing is quietly escorting a pretty young lady of indeterminate age through hostile territory.
It was an experimental tactic. I will admit that, and I will work better.
That to me sounds like an attempt at personal development, trying new things. I'm going to give you a commendation for that.
I would support that commendation, sir. He has a remarkably good singing voice, actually.
You should have heard that guy that got stabbed in the throat. He started gurgling right at the crescendo. It was amazing.
And it was weirdly in key, fool. It was weird.
I wish I'd been there for that.
With something like... Something kind of like that.
It was almost like a harmony, I heard.
Now, worth covering while we're talking about this particular ambush, it sounds to me like Mr. Mark here, at one point during this ambush, threw young Janet over his shoulder and rushed her off to safety. Does that sound true to everyone else's ears?
I do remember seeing something like that, at least for a second, you know, like he got her out of danger and then he fought a whole bunch of dudes, you know.
To me, I think that's a commendation for commitment to excellence.
Thank you.
It did also split the party in a crowded street, but it kept Janet safe.
You know, I think that's a citation for lack of efficiency. That's valid and fair. Teams fight better. You'd never, ever want to split the party, particularly in combat.
I understand, but the mission was to get Janet to safety, and I did that.
But you gotta still got to think about the team. You kind of left the team for a minute there.
Well, I
Everyone
mean, he
was
left you
dead
guys,
already.
fool, but he was like running towards me. So like I could help him, you know, and then he could get Janet to safety. And that's also how I found her in the bushes, you know what I mean?
One of the many times
She did like to run to the bushes. I will say that. Yeah,
You
she
know,
did.
Mark, I'm concerned. To me, that does not sound like a respect for authority. It's the first time I've heard somebody actively pushing back against anything here. I think I'm gonna have to give you a citation for that. But Dante, again, you are there trying to prop your team up. I think that's another commendation for team spirit. So we got her out of that ambush. We haven't made it to the safe house yet. Why don't you go ahead and tell me how we got her there?
Well, there were a lot of blockades in that area, and we had to take some time to find our way around. Jake was actually instrumental in finding our path. If you want to talk a little bit about that, Jake.
Yes, Jake, I would love to hear how it was you were able to navigate the difficult urban environment posed in this unique situation.
Well, I've been around for that specific area, so I knew like some good alley routes and whatnot that I've used prior. So I used some prior knowledge from prior missions and whatnot to slip past a couple of blockades and whatnot. Went through a building that was that I knew was vacated. Quite helpful.
See, to me, that sounds like a fairly efficient route. I'm going to give you a commendation. Finding the most efficient way through a dangerous area, going to the places where people aren't, is significantly more efficient than trying to go through where they are.
And with him scouting a route through these dangerous areas, I was always not that far behind him in case, perchance, someone happened upon us.
It is nice to have reliable backup, I will admit.
See, that to me sounds also like efficiency, I guess. And what would even be more efficient is if you talked at your microphone, not at me. That'd be even more efficient for this podcast.
Yes,
So I'm
sir.
going to go ahead and give you a commendation for that.
And an IRL citation. Can I just say real quick that it is so difficult to not go into his accent?
I'm picking up on that.
You have so much accent drift always.
Yes.
Always. Like back when you were doing Russian accent or whatever.
Every accent I have, you have a little bit.
Yes.
There was one conversation that I think it was in the other podcast, or not the podcast, but like just normal, where I went full accent in a sentence. I don't even
Oh,
remember.
you guys were having a conversation and Shock is speaking in a Russian accent and you just slowly melt into the Russian accent with him.
You're having a hard time with our Sean Connery halfling NPC day, too.
Uh-huh.
So we got through the building that was loosely occupied or not in a very efficient fashion. The rest of the trip went uneventfully. We got her to Calabasas safely.
We did indeed. As we started getting into the nicer area of town, you know, there were still groups of combatants, but we were able to dodge them more easily.
There was once again that issue with the guy with the 22. We wound up getting pinned down. We distracted him, and our lovely Dante was able to sneak up behind him. And
I knifed that fool in the ear, fool.
I have to ask, as someone who has a little bit of firearm experience myself, you got pinned down by a 22?
It was open terrain. There wasn't really a whole hell of a lot to deal with. Plus, I'm the hand-to-hand combat guy. It could have been a 22. It could have been a machine gun. I don't know. I don't think guns.
Jake has a loose grasp on our available weaponry, sir.
So to me, that sounds like a lack of commitment to excellence. You're a hired gun.
I know that I carry a 9mm. That's about it.
So I'm going to have to give you a citation for the lack of situational awareness.
Okay.
We did manage to make it through the entire mission with all of our weapons on us. We did not lose weapons, and we did not use all of the ammunition that we were sent with.
Now that's fiscal responsibility if I've ever heard it. That's
And sir,
accommodation.
if I may be so bold, excellent inventory management.
You know, I would have to agree with that. I'm going to give you that. That's absolutely a commendation for inventory management.
I love that's coming from Kasey.
I am the inventory manager. Always.
You are the inventory.
That sounds like a self-plug, fool, but, you know, it makes sense. She's not wrong, so, you know. And I like to use the knives anyway. I like sneaking up on the people.
And while we're talking about things that seem to have gone pretty well, from what I understand, Jori, you did a fairly adequate job of keeping the kid quiet in some of the dangerous situations, using that skill of words you got available to you. So for that, I'm going to have to give you a commendation for doing a good job.
Thank you, sir.
So I don't know what that is, but you did it, and the kid woman lady's alive.
The kid woman lady. Okay.
Yes, Janet struggled with the combat that we found ourselves in, and when she was not hiding, she mostly stuck by my side, and we kept her safe.
That's fair. From what I understand, she's from Calabasas originally, which is basically like the next up-and-coming Beverly Hills with slightly better shopping and less mountainous terrain, I believe. So I can imagine she's not used to violence in the streets.
Yes, sir.
So your calming demeanor, I'm sure, was greatly appreciated.
She was also not used to the walk, so we did have to take many breaks on that second day.
She wouldn't like not wear heels full for a little bit. So like that slowed us down. But we finally talked her into getting different shoes. Or like, well, I had to steal some from a guy. But you know, they fit her feet. And
Hey, that right there, theft, not an issue. We didn't have to pay for those shoes. That's a commendation for fiscal responsibility.
I would like to say, though, that dude had weirdly small feet that those shoes fit.
he did. He was a big guy and he had like little dainty toes, bro. It was weird.
His balance was terrible. Mark
Yeah.
Steele pushed him down, no problem.
He fell down some
That is
stairs.
I'm so proud of this team for beating up a guy for his shoes.
Killing a
was-
man by use of stairs, to me, that is also fiscal responsibility. I did not have to pay for those stairs.
Absolutely, sir.
That's
Price
right.
of stairs are going up.
That pretty well covers everything that I see here in my written report from y'all. I'm a fucking country gangster.
Yes, you are, sir. And it's
You
is
guys.
amazing.
Is there anything that you feel I need to know before we conclude the oral discussion and move on to the grading?
I feel like our bases are pretty well covered, sir.
I believe that's a satisfactory overall summary of everything that happened that day, yeah.
Many people died
Or week or
trying
however
to get
long
her
it
to
was.
safety, so it was adequate.
But none of us did, and neither did our charge.
Which is the important thing.
Absolutely. All right, folks. At this point, we are going to roll our commendation dice. For the audience listening at home, the players, every time they won a commendation dice, they got a D6. Unlike D&D, they are not rolling to get a sum total. Instead, the goal is to get as many of the highest dice value as possible. So at the end of it, they will be keeping track of how many individual 6s, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1s they've acquired.
Does anyone need any extra D6s?
Right now, I'm good. I got exactly the amount I need.
Hell
That
yeah.
is fantastic.
It's fucking amazing.
And I don't need to know these totals. I don't want to know these totals yet, but make note of everything you get because we will be eliminating these possibly later.
I had a real shit roll.
That is wildly out of character.
If it makes you feel better, so did I.
Out of 6 dice, I had 3 2s.
I have 2 1s.
Isn't that brutal?
Out of 4, I got 2.
I got 2 5s.
We're such wildly different on like the luck spectrum on this.
Once you have rolled all of your commendation dice, we will now roll the citation dice. Citation dice work a little bit differently in that, for example, I heard somebody said they had 2 5s. If even one of your citation dice is a 5, it eliminates all of your 5s. It's not a 1-for-1. That was wildly satisfying. All 3 of you in sync. Grump. So the 3 things that you're going to keep track of that matter after this stage. What your highest dice value is, how many of that dice you have left over. So like, ideally, I have a 6 and I've got 18 of them. And then the total number of commendation dice you have remaining.
I'm just going to say that rolling well 2 times in a row for citation and
Do we need to,
is not great.
No.
do we need to write these down and hand them to you?
At least write them down.
Okay. So it was the highest individual results, the number of that result.
And then total dice that you had available. So like, let's say you ended up with 5 commendation dice left over, 2 of which were a 6. I need to know that you had a 6. I need to know you had 2 of them, and I need to know you had 5 dice. I don't care if you had a 4, a 3, a 2, or a 1 at that point.
Okay.
And now I got to read the rules. I'm sorry, you do need to give those to me. Jake, we'll start with you. Your highest dice left was a 1.
Yeah.
You had 1 of them,
Yeah.
leaving you with 1 die.
Yeah.
Dante, your highest dice left was a 6.
Yes, sir.
You had 1 of them,
That's correct.
leaving you with 5 dice.
Correct.
Jori,
Yes, sir.
you had a 6.
Mhm.
Only 1 of them.
Yep.
Leaving you with 6 dice.
Correct.
Mark,
Yes.
you had a 6.
Correct.
Only 1 of them.
Yes.
Leaving you with...
Do I have to answer?
Yes, it matters. I need to know how many dice you had.
4.
4. All right. That is wildly close.
It is.
Except for
with
Jake.
one extreme.
Right?
The Vivaldi really put
We
him over
know
the
who's
edge.
not the team leader.
Yeah. That's wild. All right.
Like I said, like rolling high all the time. Not a good idea.
Not good.
I
Just
rolled.
eliminate all your good
I
die.
rolled a 1 on my citation die, and I only had 1 citation die, and
Wow.
I didn't have any 1s in my commendation dice.
Must be so
like,
nice. Must be so
I
nice.
had 1
was
citation
great.
die. I rolled a 2, and it got rid of my only 2 in my.
Nice.
I had 4 and 4. I rolled 2 6s and a 5 both times.
Damn.
So he wiped out his highest
That's
numbers
fucking
immediately.
No way.
I was looking at his cards and like, this is 1, 1, and 1 for this answer.
That is phenomenal. All right, team. After very careful deliberation, I've come to the conclusion that there's really only one available option for the new team leader to replace Terry. Jori,
Yes, sir.
I'm putting you in charge of the team.
That is a great honor, sir.
Man, stole my name, stole my job.
And I will do my best to keep this team successful.
On a related note, it's worth mentioning Dante and Mark, both very strong members of this team. Your contributions above board, beyond any possible recognition I could give you, but not quite as good as Jori's.
That is
That's
quite
okay.
apparent.
That's okay, fool. I get it.
Jake, I can't help but have a little bit of concern. Our algorithm that we use on our end here to allocate points based off of performance has given you, quite frankly, the most alarming end result I've ever seen.
I will agree, that came out of left field. Not expecting that result, sir.
Quite frankly, if the world were in a slightly more stable place, if communications between our branches were a bit more existent, I do believe you'd be getting relocated. Permanent. But we're currently in a situation where I can't really afford to lose any members of this crew. So you got lucky this time.
Noted. Definitely will be a wake-up call, sir.
I should certainly hope so. If our scout has a habit of trying to pre-create Disney's Fantasia, I fear that this next mission will go far more poorly. It's worth mentioning that I did take some time and I spoke to our esteemed guest in the back of the room briefly. He too is mildly concerned about your presence on the team. I did assure him that you would not disappoint us a second time. I feel very confident about that with Jori as your new team captain. I do believe Jori will be able to do a sufficient job keeping you in line. With new positions comes an increase in responsibility, I'm sure you understand. This team's performance now weighs squarely on your shoulders.
Yes, sir, I understand the responsibility, and we will do our best as a team to make sure we continue to run efficiently.
Fantastic. That is what I and our esteemed gentleman in the back here both like to hear. Now, I know you guys just got back from the field. I'm sure that you are concerned about the health and safety of those that you hold dear. I hate to do this, but we are going to hop straight into our next briefing. We have another mission.
Aye, sir.
I mean, that's all right, fool. I mean, I don't really have a car to get home anyway, so
Right, we're out of here.
it's fine. My hydraulics don't even work on my lowrider anymore.
I don't think they worked before.
They did, though. They used to lift up front real nice. It was good. The back ones I've always had kind of fucked up anyway. I don't know what I'm doing back there.
I'm sure that's a fact that the missus is very disappointed about. But if we have a moment, I would like to welcome our esteemed guest up here to walk you through what he is hoping you can do for him. Is there anything we need to take care of before that happens?
I don't believe so, sir.
No.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I think we're all good.
So with that, Billy the Frog Boggio backs up from the front of the table, and up comes a slender, fit, blonde, blue eye, very German-looking man, dressed very, very well. Nice, expensive suit. Not quite three-piece, he ain't rocking the vest, but you can tell this is quality. Comes up with an air of confidence that not a lot of people have in front of folks such as yourselves. You're used to people of affluence looking a bit timid and almost afraid around you. This man is not. Well, thank you for taking some time and meeting me today. My name is Mr. Kelly, and I need to find my daughter.
Mark Steele, and I put it in my hand to shake his hand.
Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Kelly. He shakes your hand. Very firm. Despite his affluent dress, he's actually got calloused working hands.
I'm gonna nod at him like the traditional like Latino nod. Be like, okay, fool.
Please,
Dante.
I'm sure.
Jori Sloan, sir. Nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you, Jori. I understand you are the team captain moving forward.
I will be, yes, but we are generally a fairly equal and efficient team.
That is good to hear. The entire success of the team will not be hinging on one individual.
That is the hope, sir.
Who
Okay.
are you, fool? Say something, bro. He doesn't know who you are.
Take a run.
He's listening to Vivaldi again.
In his head, though. He's not
I
seeing
would
it.
recommend making sure that your attention is allocated correctly. I think I have an offer that you will want to hear.
Go on.
Lay it on us.
First, what I need from you. My daughter has recently managed to contact me.
Okay.
How?
What'd you do? Send a pigeon?
There's no power.
I received a phone call.
Huh?
That's weird, man. We tried to use like
3
the radio.
days ago.
3 days ago. Okay. Yeah, that was weird. We didn't have any communication for the last like week.
This is concerning. The tone of the conversation has had me rethinking certain aspects of my life. And I have come to the conclusion that perhaps I have not done the best by my child. Where you come into play is I need to get to where she is.
So is she like on the other side of LA or?
She's in a town in Colorado.
That's far.
That's
fool.
like half a country away.
Not nearly, but it is a fair clip. She's in a town called Grand Junction. It is a high desert community where she was attending the local university. I do fear that she is in danger, as I'm sure any of you can attest to. Things are not going well here. Grand Junction is not much more well suited to endure any hardship. She has no one out there with her that she can rely upon, and she is a small and frequently lost child.
She sounds a lot like Janet. Kinda, a little bit, except for she's
Yeah.
probably not 14 to 36. You know,
She is not 14 to 30. Well, technically, she is in that age range.
well, it's a big range, though. You know what I mean?
That is. I was mildly alarmed to hear that you were not able to ascertain much of any detail about the person you spent several days with.
We did have a description and identified her correctly on her description, sir.
I would also like to point out that we were able to tell, only a select few were unable to tell.
I spent a lot of time in Japan, fool.
I'm still wondering what
That-
the payments may be.
Genuinely surprises me.
I have some friends over there too. They have tattoos and stuff, you know.
Yes.
He also has a large collection of anime figurines.
That's also true. That's facts right there, bud.
Dude, I want to see
Yeah.
your lowrider with a bunch of anime figurines with bobbleheads.
Interesting. I did know a man from over there. Ichiro Yamasaki.
I know of him. I know that guy. Yeah.
Not a man that most people like knowing.
No, he's kind of scary, fool. I don't know how you would say it, and but I like henchmen, I guess would be, you know.
I believe he refers to them as employees.
I mean, that's the word he probably uses. Yeah.
Yes.
What would the compensation for a mission such as this be?
I can secure your family's safety. I can secure your family with food and lodging in a secure facility. I can arrange all food and provisions and lodging in any major town that we pass through. And I can ensure that very high-level individuals will hear of this mission's success.
One sec, did you say we? Are you planning on going with us?
Yes, I will be going with my daughter to get my daughter. And I will be making sure she makes it back here in one piece.
What if
Okay.
we have no family?
Then you're going to be much cheaper to accommodate.
I have a dog, though.
I can keep your dog well fed.
Oh, thank God.
I will ensure he has the best Purina that money can acquire.
She, and her name is Daisy.
How dare you misgender
Purina's
my
really
dog?
Not the best, but I mean, if it's what's available, then it'll feed the dog.
My work has taken me through most major cities. I have contacts in nearly every city in the US. I can secure us safe lodging and food in the cities. I cannot do the same in the less urbanized environments. That is where you would come in. Alongside obviously making sure that random raiding parties, etc., do not try to make a foul of my goals.
That's a weird way to say that.
I believe that is in line with our skills. Would the restocking at various cities include weapons and equipment?
I believe that should be available. The further away from here we get, the less certain what will be available when we get there is.
That is fair.
These are uncertain, unstable times. I am positive every town between here and Grand Junction is going through the same difficulties we are seeing here in LA. Billy tells me you're the team I can count on. I've done a fair bit of work for Billy over the years. Billy's provided me with many an asset over the years. I trust his judgment. Now's a good time to tell me if I'm wrong.
Do you mind if we take a moment to discuss as a team?
I would be very disappointed if you did not.
Thank you, sir. I mean, I'm in. It's important to me to make sure my family stays safe. And if this is the way to do it, I'm happy to. I mean, shit, like, what else are we going to do for work at this moment?
I agree. As long as my dog Daisy is okay, I am happy.
I mean, you know, John Wick over here is really concerned about his dog. You know,
Yes.
but like, I'm the down is full. I'm down for whatever. You know what I mean? So I'm always down for being down.
What does that even mean?
It means he's in. I'm for it. Jake, what about you?
I mean, I'm all for keeping families safe and whatnot, but we're planning on walking cross country. We're not going to see the family that we're keeping safe for like ever.
Have you not been trained to ride a horse?
Who rides a horse across
We
country?
don't know that we'd have access to horses. Regardless, I mean, there's not much in between cities on the way to Grand Junction. I feel like this will be a pretty easy trip.
I mean, yeah, I'm on board, I guess.
All right.
But where the hell are we going to get horses in LA?
No one brought up horses until you mentioned them. I don't know that that's on the table, Jake. I
Like-
have to say.
He knows that like cars and stuff don't work, right?
Like I said, we're going to walk across.
That's a long way to walk. fool.
We can confirm the mode of transportation.
What are we going to
before we-
bike?
Excuse me, Mr. Kelly. We had a question about the mode of transportation we will be taking. Will we be on foot or will we have access to some functional means of conveyance?
Like a pedal copter or something.
I did say functional.
I am putting you on retainer to transport me to Grand Junction.
So transportation will be on our plate then.
You are the experts.
Understood?
Private jet doesn't work anymore. If it did, I wouldn't be here talking.
That's fair, fool. Because I was like wondering if you knew that like vehicles and stuff don't work and stuff. You know,
Considering I had to walk to this
you could have rode a bike, fool. I don't know how you got here.
established neighborhood, I think I got the memo, yes.
All right, I just.
I was also recently surprised by a phone call.
That's also fair.
That was not formally the case.
Because a phone call shouldn't have worked, but it did for you.
You are
like,
correct. Yes.
That's
That should not have
crazy.
happened.
Is anyone else coming with you, fool?
Just myself.
What are you bringing with you?
You tell me what I need to have.
We will arrange a packing list.
When I hire an expert, I listen to the expert.
Okay.
Well, with that information in mind, we unanimously are on board. We were happy to take this task.
Fantastic. I am very glad to hear that. Currently, Billy has teams waiting outside your family's homes. They will be being picked up and escorted to a secure location in Malibu.
That's so threatening.
I know. It's like,
It just really got like if we decided no, we're just going and
I know, that's what I was
Right.
thinking too.
Billy's got people outside your family's houses
oh.
that will fucking kill all of them if you refuse my offer. You pieces of shit. Right? Like,
I swear if my dog isn't pampered.
my
We've seen the apartment that you're currently keeping the dog in. Malibu will be an upgrade.
my
that was hard.
My younger
Harsh.
siblings love dogs also.
Just because I don't have money.
She will be well taken care of.
Well,
As they say, Billy got the name the Frog because he's quick off the hop. We're getting this handled.
I don't think I know what that
Hilarious.
means.
Well,
I mean, I know what frogs do, but like, what's that got to do with Billy? Fool?
Do you not know what a
he's
pun
quick
is?
to jump at being the person to provide a solution.
Your family's secure.
Okay,
Possibly more so than they were before this conversation.
possibly more. So, okay.
When were you hoping to set out?
How long will it take you and your team to be ready?
2 days?
I could be ready in 2 days' time. From this point forward, you are the experts. When I feel that I am perhaps the best suited for information, I will step in. But for 90% of the time between here and Grand Junction, I follow your lead. If I knew how to get myself to Grand Junction, I would not be undertaking this contract. Therefore, you tell me what I need, when to be where, and I will make that happen. It is worth mentioning. Your family's safety is contingent on this contract. If this contract should need to be altered, a conversation will occur. I have set up lines of communication that I believe to be highly reliable. I have men that will be anticipating hearing from me on a routine basis. So if there is any thought of my family secured in a safe house in Malibu, maybe I don't need Mr. Kelly anymore. Let's go ahead and erase that from your thought process now.
Understood.
I knew where you live. I know who your family is. I know where your family is. If I should need to alter this contract, that will be a discussion. I am a fair and equitable man. Cross me, and your family will not appreciate the outcome. Are we in agreement?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Simone.
What?
Simone.
I've heard she's a nice lady.
It means yes, fool. I agree with whatever you said. I'm in. Let's do it.
Oh, I said yeah. Sorry.
You are a very quiet man for an audio medium.
He's still working out his accent, sir.
I'm trying so hard not to laugh at everything or swap accents. It's so hard.
I will be back here in 2 days' time.
If you don't mind, sir, I will write out a list. We will confer and write out a list for you to prepare before you go.
I appreciate that greatly.
Because it will be hard to get that to you otherwise.
Within those 2 days, if you have any messages you would like delivered to your family, now is a fantastic time to make that happen.
Would we not be able to spend some time with them and say goodbye?
A decent chunk of my safety is me knowing where your family is.
Also, if you want to save a bit of cash, if you don't want to protect my ex, that's perfectly fine.
I will make the arrangements go away.
My daughter, yeah, but my ex, no.
You do not think your child will feel more secure if your ex is taken care of and has a parent on site?
I mean, it's a bit of a
I'm even
toss-up.
keeping an eye on my ex. This is...
It's plural.
Eh.
Piece of advice, Mr. Jake. Always keep an eye on those who know where you live.
All right.
I appreciate you undertaking this mission. I will follow this list to the T.
All right, let's get that written down then.
And just because I think this will be fun, what is this list?
Backpack.
What is our survival
I was gonna say,
list?
I think it includes water bottle, hiking shoes,
Cliff bars for building material.
layers, layered clothing, and I think I look at what he's wearing and then I list out each item of clothing
Yes,
that he needs to
Yes.
bring.
absolutely in a full suit,
Cargo.
California style. So he
Mhm.
is wearing the sockless loafer shoe thing.
Yep.
I
At least
recommend
7
cargo
Rolexes.
shorts.
Yeah, or zip offs.
Zip-ups, yeah.
But we've got pretty comprehensively cover exactly what clothes to bring.
First aid kit, survival gear, blanket,
Yeah.
survival blanket,
Some general, a sleeping bag, bedroll,
pocket
tent,
knife.
if he has that. He doesn't seem like the camping type, but
Neither is his daughter.
no, exactly. That's why. And then
That's true. She can't
What
build a
else?
fucking tent. She's never been camping before, ever. So that leads me to believe that neither is dad. Right?
yeah, I think I put some toiletries, toothpaste, toothbrush, sunscreen on there. Seems like valuable things. Again, I look over at him, look at his complexion, mark down
Pale.
sunscreen times 2.
SPF 100 at minimum.
And then what else? I feel like that covers it pretty thoroughly.
Yeah.
You got good
Weapons.
walking shoes,
Should he have some
good
sort of
walking shoes.
weapon?
Yeah, a weapon.
Sir,
Just
are
in
you
case.
proficient in any means of fighting, or do you intend to stay entirely out of the action?
I have taken some handgun courses.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'll put handgun and ammunition on there. Just
As a precaution.
we hope that you won't have to use that, but it's best to be safe.
I agree.
And I think that about covers it.
He takes the list and hands it straight off to Billy Boggio. Acquire this. And turns back to you. And you notice, actually, this is the first time you've ever seen Billy kind of the non-dominant person in a room. He's listening to everything Mr. Kelly has to say. Turns back to you, the team. I will see you in exactly 48 hours.
That would be what 2 days is for.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly that.
Precisely 48 hours.
Starting when?
Okay.
Starting right now?
I
This
think
very second. No,
I think-
right now.
I think that's up to your team lead.
like a full day of preparation tomorrow, meet here early morning the next day so we can get an early start. It is close to evening at the moment, and I would not prefer to head out in the evening.
Right. Get some follow through the daylight. Yeah.
Yeah,
Get some of our movement done when we can see stuff.
exactly.
Fantastic. I appreciate you. I will be back then. With that, he turns on his heel and walks confidently out of the room.
Hey, Billy, can I add one more thing to that list? It's simple, I promise.
If you think this is what's going to get him success, please, dear God, add it to the list.
I add water filter, like camping water filter or like filtration tablets.
Did we say
whatever,
he should bring a hat
purification.
full?
I specified all the layers he should have
Okay, so it's in there. We got a hat
Yeah.
in there somewhere with the layers.
and
Okay,
sunglasses.
Well, the guy did not look at the list. He just gave it to me.
Yeah, we'll add
Make
those on
sure
there
this
right
list
now.
is correct.
Yep.
Do you see a hat on there, fool?
I haven't looked at it either.
Well, then how?
You
okay.
tell me, is there a hat on this list? You're the one writing it.
Yes.
Did you write hat?
There's a hat on the list. Wide.
All right, so we
brim
wrote hat on the list because he's pasty, fool. He's gonna get sunburned.
Yes. Cover those shoulders.
Fantastic. Mr. Kelly is not a guy to cross. Make sure that this list is detailed and ready to rock for him.
I think I add a couple more camping supplies on there, like mess kit and silverware and cup and bowl.
Perfect.
So are we planning on walking to Colorado?
Well,
Is that
transportation is on us. Anyone have access to horses? Or
I can
know
get some
someone
donkeys.
that does?
Weirdly enough, I'm not an equestrian.
A donkey would not be bad if nothing else. We can make
mean,
it haul our shit.
My boy Felipe at that safe house has a few donkeys we could.
No,
maybe
those are
complement
mules,
them.
and I don't think that means what you think it means.
No, that's a different thing. Fool. The animal, the donkey, they make the hee-haw sound, and they have the colorful fabrics on their backs. You know?
You think we'd be able to gain access to that?
I think so. I think Felipe would be okay with that.
Okay.
He's got a lot of them. He's got like a farm and stuff. But like we don't need pigs, you know. So.
No, they don't travel well.
No, but they're good for different things, you know.
Do any of us know how to feed and care for a donkey?
Carrots, I would assume.
I don't know enough about animals to refute that statement.
All I know is that I've seen enough like fail videos to not slap one in the ass.
Maybe we can ask Felipe
That'd be a good idea. You know,
And
we'll
get,
talk to
like,
Felipe
a-
and get like a
a
pack.
packing list for the donkey. Okay.
The woman in the safe house, you don't know where it is. You said Felipe was in the safe house.
There
The safe house we used when we had Janet.
the overnight.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
The one that I called in a favor for.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, Billy.
You know, Felipe owes me a lot of stuff. Well, I've got him out of some gems, you know.
Well, let's use that to our advantage then. And at least we won't have to carry everything we're bringing
Actually,
with
Felipe
us.
is my little brother.
That
I do
would
what
be
I fucking
beneficial.
tell him. Anyway. Little brother. My little brother. At least by age. He's a lot bigger than I am.
He might, in that case, already be at the bunker.
No, that's where he lives, is a safe house. Cool. So.
Oh, I mean like
He's a
Mr.
member
Kelly's
of your
bunker.
family that is being secured.
Nah, he's like, oh no, okay, yeah, he can't. He's not my little brother. Then cut that part out.
Your little cousin.
I treat him like a little
He's like my
brother.
second cousin.
You
fool.
know him through the Big Brother, Little Brother program.
Yeah, I was his mentor, fool.
And that worked out
I taught him
well.
taught him how to make tattoos for his face. You know.
Met him at the Y.
Yeah. he's not my blood little brother. Yeah. Okay. That works. Let's do that.
All right.
Whatever
Your
he said.
little homie.
He's my homie, fool.
Well, I think
Fuck, I didn't think about that when I said little brother.
Let's take tonight, rest up from this mission, and then we'll meet tomorrow morning to gather supplies, since it sounds like we won't get a goodbye with family.
He did say if you had any messages you wanted me to send to your families, I can arrange that. Once you're out of town, there's not really going to be any opportunities.
Yeah. I think I'd like to write a letter, if you don't mind.
I don't mind at all.
I'll send a postcard. You know, like, I have some. You know, I travel a lot for what we do, so I got.
They've got
postcards.
some commemorative ones out front of Billy's too,
Yeah, that's nice.
of the challenge plates.
I like
the mega meatball sub
yeah. Okay.
and the pot of spaghetti.
That's
And
a lot of
nobody's
spaghetti.
beaten that challenge yet.
That's a lot of spaghetti.
It's the secrets in the meatballs.
in the meat in the meatballs.
Why was there so much emphasis on the balls?
They're well
they ain't
seasoned.
meat links, they're meatballs. I use rye bread as the binder.
Rye bread. Wow.
Makes them very bold.
I would never have thought of that.
It actually makes a great chicken burger. I was
That's good
desperate.
to know.
There's
There's a
Fucking
lot
baller.
of flavor and density to rye bread. I would not think that would make a good meatball.
I don't know how it would taste in a fucking marinara, but
Maybe that's why nobody's completed the challenge.
it's a loud dish.
Yeah, this is horrific.
Like you don't make a spaghetti challenge
Yeah.
for the taste.
No.
You use the arrabbiata sauce too, and that shit's
Oh yeah, you gotta have the
spicy.
spice. And they have to eat the whole loaf of garlic bread. The odds are stacked against them.
I mean, that's how challenges are supposed
Really?
to be, though, fool. I tried one with a hamburger once that was like as big as a cake, fool, and I only had like half of it. I couldn't eat it.
And
It's
then they
too much.
charged you like $50 for it.
Yeah, and you're supposed to it wasn't even gonna be free if I finished it. Fool. I was just gonna get a picture on the wall. It's ridiculous.
Not even a t-shirt?
No.
Anyways, about my
Sad.
dog. I would like a bone sent to my dog, Daisy,
Priorities.
and then a bow to be put on her head.
We will see what we can arrange for you.
You should be more specific, fool, because they need like details and stuff.
I put a PS in my note to my family. Watch out for Daisy the dog. My teammate is very attached to her.
Do not touch dog.
No,
Or
take
give
care
excessive
of
pets.
the dog.
Take extra care of
Love
Tom.
on this dog.
I gotta ask. Is there anything in particular we need to be concerned about with this animal being around a large group of people? Is this a pit bull attack dog? What do we got? We dealing with here, Mr. Mark?
I'm picturing
It is a chihuahua.
Oh my god.
The fiercest.
They are fucking ill-tempered. They're not. They're so angry.
She is the sweetest dog on earth for me.
Is this a owner too in love with their dog to see their faults kind of statement? They're asking this out of character. You don't have to.
Absolutely.
She's a bright terror.
She's evil. She's
I make
legitimately
a
evil.
PPS. She's a chihuahua. Feed her lots of treats and not your fingers.
She will bite the piss out.
I can guarantee that your dog will be taken care of.
Very well.
So
Fine.
long as you take care of Mr. Kelly.
Could you all send my
Can be
daughter a
done.
violin bow?
His physical health and nothing more is required.
Just his physical health. That can be done.
He's a
Write
very
And
that
it's
down, write that
delivery
down.
to the location.
yes. You were asking a question about a violin.
Yeah, I know I'm on thin ice, but if my daughter can get a violin bow, that'd be great. That'd put in extra effort.
We'll see how the first report back goes.
Got it.
Very well. Well, if that's everything everyone wants to send to their family.
With my knowledge of Mr. Kelly, I strongly recommend that you have a plan of attack for getting him to Grand Junction.
Have you heard anything about the dangers on the road at any point? Or do
Specifically,
you
like
feel like the
bikers?
cities are probably the more dangerous obstacle?
The cities in general, from what we are gathering, are the worst. Our first group of messengers have not made it to the next major metropolitan area yet.
It has only been a week.
It has only been a week. Foot travel is not the greatest. Finding horses in Los Angeles isn't the easiest thing. Most of them are at Hollywood studios. They are on full lockdown. I'm not going to say you can't get in there, but weirdly, that place was sort of built like a fortress already. I don't know what they were anticipating before this happened, but they got a nice heavy-duty wall surrounding their facility.
They knew it was coming.
And we've had other priorities.
Well, maybe we'll be able to find some once we get out of the city limits. There is a lot of farms and ranches and such.
Once you get up in the hills, there's a lot of well-to-do folk who could do well enough that they might be able to afford being relieved of some of their possessions.
And or shoot us before we get to the driveway.
That's
If
why you
you're
hide,
able
fool.
to fall to their hands, then I have told Mr. Kelly the wrong people.
We can handle ourselves and access what we need.
I may be continuing this conversation because I like this accent.
I couldn't tell.
We will get these messages delivered to your families. Make sure you have a clear line of attack. You know where we keep the area maps. I will admit, I don't have any maps of Colorado in the shop. Never thought I was going to need to know anything about Colorado. We don't do much business in Colorado.
I got some connections in Colorado.
My maps can get you at least as far as Las Vegas.
Oh, God, I forgot about the desert.
There's going to be a lot of that. That
Funny.
might be
Yeah.
worth taking some notes on. It's almost exclusively desert between here and Grand Junction.
No matter which way you go.
Basically, it sucks. There's some rivers.
Oh, no.
This might be the worst part of the country to have to take a man across. Frankly.
He's not wrong. We go through Texas, desert. We go through Nevada, desert. Arizona, desert. Utah, most of the way, desert. Right? Like, this is going to be a pretty rough fucking trip.
You have suddenly become significantly more competent sounding, Dante.
Yeah, you know, for that happens sometimes. I slip in and out, you know?
It happens when he gets excited. He talks like a normal person.
He talks pretty normal a lot of the time. Like,
It's a regional thing.
yeah.
All right. You're welcome to stay the night in the shop. This isn't the first pre-mission mission we've done.
Yeah, as soon as you say that, Mark just like he gets up and starts like going to a corner and just making his bed.
Does he spin around 3 times?
He's making
Right.
biscuits.
And I think that's about as good of an end spot as we're going to find.
Cool.
The side quest is Clay Carnahan as Mark the Steel One Steele, Mike Bernal as Dante Ramirez, Mike Downs as Jake Ryan, Kasey Weingarten as Jori Sloan, and myself, Mike Schock, as your Dungeon Master. Also on the team, we have our producer, Gail Redfield, our scribe, Dillon Giles. Amanda Arston is on our graphic design team, and Jeremy Arston is our DM consultant. The majority of the music this week was sourced from Epidemic Sounds under the Creative Commons license. The songs used in order are Jump Off Cliff by Ruiki Zhao, Mozart Piano Concerto No. 23 in A Major Part 2 Adagio by Mira Ma, Eric Jacobson, and the Odyssey Orchestra. All of Vivaldi's The Four Seasons as performed by Michelle Ross, Eric Jacobson, and the Odyssey Orchestra. All of String Quartet Opus 41 No. 3 in A Major String Quartet No. 19 in C Major K465 Adagio Allegro, String Quartet No. 13 K173 Allegro, String Quartet No. 7 in E Flat Major K160 Part 1 Allegro, String Quartet No. 2 in D K155 Part 2 on Dante, and String Quartet No. 11 in E Flat Major K171 Part 1 Adagio Allegro Assi. The string quartet pieces do not have a stated performer. The side quest theme and outro were written by Michael Bernal.